And we have more news coming in. In an attempt to provide some relief to the people gasping for breath in the capital, the Delhi government has announced that all schools will be closed for a week. All construction activity will be banned between November 14th and 17th, and all government offices will shift to work from home mode, while private offices have been advised to shift to work from home mode as well.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट के अंदर एक बीच में एक सुझाव निकल के आ रहा था कि क्या दिल्ली को कंप्लीट लॉकडाउन किया जा सकता है अगर बहुत ज़्यादा सिचुएशन हालात ख़राब हो जाते हैं तो उसका हम पूरा वर्कआउट कर रहे हैं कि उसके क्या मायने होंगे, उस लॉकडाउन के क्या मायने होंगे। अभी लगा नहीं रहे हैं, हम एक उसका प्रस्ताव बना रहे हैं और इस प्रस्ताव को हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट के सामने रखेंगे कि अगर ऐसा होता है और केंद्र सारी एजेंसी से डिस्कस करके, बिकॉज ये बहुत ही एक्सट्रीम स्टेप होगा, तो सारी एजेंसी से केंद्र सरकार को कॉन्फिडेंस में लेके, सीपीसीबी को कॉन्फिडेंस में लेके, सफ़र को कॉन्फिडेंस में लेके अगर ऐसे हालात बनते हैं तो फिर उसमें दिल्ली के अंदर सारे प्राइवेट व्हीकल्स, कंस्ट्रक्शन, ट्रांसपोर्ट, ये सब वेहिकुलर, ये कंस्ट्रक्शन और इंडस्ट्रियल, ये एक्टिविटीज़ बंद की जा सकती हैं। तो ये एक प्रस्ताव, अभी केवल प्रस्ताव के तौर पे इसको हम कोर्ट के सामने रखेंगे। तो ये 4 मोटे तौर पे निर्णय लिए गए।
Now, this comes after the Supreme Court of India took a serious view of the severe pollution engulfing Delhi NCR and told the centre as well as the state to consider declaring a 2-day lockdown to curb air pollution.
हम अभी यवतमाल के वसंतराव नाइक गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल में खड़े हैं, जहां अशोक पाल की हत्या हुई थी। ये जो आप एरिया देख रहे हैं पीछे, पूरा ये जंगल जैसा एरिया है। यहाँ पे
All right, so clearly, of course, the Supreme Court taking a very, very serious view of the severe pollution engulfing Delhi NCR and has told the centre to consider declaring a 2-day lockdown to curb air pollution. Let's take this across to Dr Guleria, Director AIIMS, who's not just a very, very recognizable face, but also is a top pulmonologist of the country. Dr Guleria, we've all heard what the Supreme Court has said. At this point of time, from a medical perspective, we've been discussing this year after year in the national capital. We once again continue to be the world's most polluted city with the AQI touching as high as 700 in certain parts of the national capital region. At this point of time, sir, first and foremost, from a medical perspective, it's clearly an air emergency. The Supreme Court has taken cognizance of it. What really needs to be done on a war footing?
So you're right, this is an emergency which happens every year, and therefore we need to really look at a sustainable solution. Unfortunately, we don't do that, and once winter is over and summer sets in, we forget about the problems of air pollution, and it comes back again around Diwali and during the winter months. So there is a need to develop a sustainable solution. At the same time, there is a need to have an action plan. There are action plans which have been proposed, but they need to be implemented in true letter and spirit. Also, we need to develop a long-term strategy. If you look at data which is available, and there is data from the Global Air the Health Effect Institute, which suggests that almost 6.67 million people died in 2020 because of air pollution. And this is more than the number of people who died because of COVID. And in India, it was estimated by a paper in the Lancet that almost 1.24 million people died in 2017 because of air pollution. Unfortunately, it's a silent killer. We can say who died of COVID, who died of dengue, but it's difficult to pinpoint and say that this person worsened because of high levels of exposure to air pollution, and his emergency visit was related to that, which led to ICU admission and death. Therefore, there is a need for us to really develop strategies to bring down the emission that is happening. So one is, of course, to monitor and assess the levels of air pollution, look at its health effects, and also then develop strategies to prevent the emission that is happening from various sectors. Unless we do that in a sustainable manner, we will not really be able to get out of this problem, and this is affecting the health of not only people in Delhi, but the entire Indo-Gangetic plain.
Dr. Guleria, the court came out with very, very strong words today, and they have come out to suggest as much as a lockdown. Do you think that the time has come for, our policy planners to perhaps take some very, very drastic measures? We've seen, for instance, in Beijing, power plant shutting down. Perhaps all of that has been done in the past in the national capital, but that has not been enough. Perhaps it's time now to completely come to a grinding halt so that vehicular emissions, which form close to 50% of the pollutants in the national capital, if I'm not mistaken, all of these sorts of emissions come down drastically.
Yes, so I think first is, and what we need to do as an acute emergency that we're seeing with air pollution level in the very severe range and causing increased admissions in hospitals with people with respiratory and cardiac problem. So we need to develop a strategy where we can really decrease the source, and that could be vehicular traffic, it could be stubble burning, it could be construction. That needs to be controlled so that the levels of air quality improve. But then also we need to develop a long-term strategy. What do we do in terms of a long-term plan so that this doesn't happen next year, or at least we're showing an improvement every year? And I think for that, there has to be a sort of a meeting of a lot of people, policymakers to come together and really develop a strategy. It is possible. We've had this problem, like you said, in Beijing, but they found a solution. It happened in Mexico. It's happened long time back as what was known as the London fog or the London smog, and even in Los Angeles. But with good legislation, with good measures in place.
What are those solutions? We have political parties coming up next. Before I go across to them, I want you to come up with those concrete solutions that we should have implemented long ago. We are way behind the deadline for that. What are those solutions, sir? Please share with us.
So those solutions are looking at one, what we're already doing and we're doing for the last few years, air pollution assessment. That is, what is the source, what is the degree of exposure, and what is the impact it's having. That is firstly. Secondly, we need to look at the health effects. What can we do to really decrease the health effects, the acute and the chronic? We know that it's affecting children's lung growth, and children in polluted areas are having more respiratory problems than those who are living in non-polluted areas. And the third is looking at emitting sector solutions. What are the solutions that we can have in the emitting sector? What are the legal things that we can do? What legislation can be passed to make sure that the emitting sector is really brought under control? There are going to be trade-offs. I'm not saying that this is a hard solution, but there are going to be trade-offs. But if we want to have a long-term solution of health of our future generation, then we really need to work on this in an aggressive manner.
Sir, before I let you go, your advice to the citizens of the National Capital Region. I know this is something that we do discuss each and every year, but you know, what is the level where they should actually stop from venturing outside their home? What are the other precautions that you would advise from a medical perspective in this situation?
So this is the time when I would really tell individuals, especially the children and the elderly people and those with underlying chronic respiratory and cardiac problem, to avoid going out, stay indoors. If you have an air purifier, use that. Monitor the air quality in the area that you're going if you have to go out, and really go out when the sun is out, because then the levels of pollution will come down. Don't go out early in the morning for your walks, especially for the elderly, because pollution levels are high during that time. And at the same time, if you really have to go, a mask will help, because not only from the COVID point of view, but inhaling pollutants will also become less if you wear your mask. So basic precautions, but I think currently for those who are at a higher risk, avoid going out. If you have any problem, please consult your doctor so that your medication can be.
Dr. Guleria, thank you so much for joining us and sharing with us these very, very valuable insights for the city. We hope that certainly our policy planners, and you're someone who everybody holds in very high regard. I certainly hope that they pay good attention to what you have in fact been sharing with us. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Guleria. Let me now quickly go across to our other panelists who are with us. In fact, we have with us Jai Dhar Gupta, who's member of the Right to Breathe. He is, of course, an activist who has been working in this area of Delhi pollution for a long time. Sanju Verma is the national spokesperson of the BJP. But first and foremost, I want to go across to the spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, Saurabh Bhardwaj. You know, this isn't really a political issue, and I don't want to get into a political tutu-meme, but sir, at some level or the other, as citizens, and you're as much a leader and a citizen of the National Capital Region, every year, year after year for the past 4 to 5 years, we see the city becoming the world's most polluted city at the very same time. Now, it's all very well to blame the farmers, but as the Supreme Court says, that is just 25 to 30%, sir. A good 70% of the pollution emanates from right here within the city. You heard the court say that today. Why does it take a court's rap or a court's knock for our administrators to finally take some action? Perhaps what Mr. Kejriwal has announced today could have been announced a week ago. Saurabh Bhardwaj, I'm sorry, we've lost that line there with Saurabh Bhardwaj. But let me also take this question across to Jai Dhar Gupta before I go across to Sanju. I've seen your hand going up. I will come right back to you. Jai Dhar, you know, as an activist who has been working in this area, do you feel that at some level or the other, it has been a frustrating experience because we haven't really seen a breakthrough? We don't even know if things are actually getting better for us. As Dr Guleria said, it would at least be all right if we knew that things were incrementally improving. But even that doesn't seem to be happening.
You know, Madhav, when things get to a point where you need to lock down a city, it's not leadership, it's incompetence, okay? And it's not just the state government, it's the government at the center. They're all incompetent. Today, I am doing this session with you, this panel from the hills, because I have become a refugee, okay? I have had to leave my home and escape to the hills, and this is absolutely unacceptable. You know, you have panelists here from the BJP and the AAP, and both these parties are going to fight the Punjab election. And first question I have for both of my fellow panelists is, are they going to stop buying, rice, paddy in Punjab? Is that something they're going to do as soon as if we elect them? That's my first question, because it's not only about air pollution, it's about the water table, it's about poisoning, the soil. It's all
Absolutely.
of it. That's my first question.
Yes.
My second question is just to the Aam Aadmi Party. You know, they are in the absolute denial that this is all coming from Punjab, and it's not, and it's just the beginning. And this is going to last till February 15th, because after this episode 1 gets over with the 35-40% coming from Punjab in the form of paddy burning.
Yes.
Now all our poor people are going to start lighting angitis. Another 10 to 15 days. It's going to be all biomass
also joining
burning.
us. Jai Dhar, we have limited time and we have callers joining us as well. In fact, before I go across to Saurabh Bhardwaj, Rajinder is with us from Faridabad. Yes, Rajinder.
Thank you, Madhav, for patching me. 2 quick points. Number one is that the pie chart that you're showing is a little flawed, because this is more of weighted averages, which may not hold true through the year. And if you look at these 2 months, it's primarily the parali burning or the stubble burning. And it needs a comprehensive solution. Otherwise, these 2 months, by blaming Diwali or something else.
Well, absolutely. Parali is certainly the tipping point. There's no denying that, sir. There is no denying that parali burning and the timing of parali burning changing has had a drastic effect on the impact of the air quality in the national capital. But what really is the solution? Why as a nation can we not find a solution? And I want to take that question across to Saurabh Bhardwaj. Saurabh Bhardwaj, why does it take our courts to intervene on such crucial matters? This is a matter of the public health of not just every citizen of Delhi, but every citizen of the national capital region. Clearly, the moves that have been announced today by the Delhi Chief Minister after the meeting this evening could have come a little or a few days ago. Perhaps that would have provided more relief, and also the need for a long-term solution. Why is it so elusive, Saurabh?
Madhav, I think you and I have been discussing this thing for last 6 years, at least because I have been in politics for 6 years, so we have been discussing it, and I'm very thankful that at least now a paddy burning or stubble burning has been acknowledged as a source of pollution, and we have been tracking air pollution for many.
Supreme Court today said only 30%, 70% is from other sources. We must acknowledge that as well.
Yes, Madhav, 30% is from the cars which you, I and Dr Guleria drive to AIIMS. I don't think you, I or Dr Guleria has ever thought of cooling our cars. It's very easy to say that, it is because of the vehicular pollution, but it's not the government chief minister who is, driving a car. Everybody is driving a car. And when we say Delhi is the most polluted city in the world, the list of most polluted cities in the world, there are 20 cities. Out of 20 cities, 18 are in India. And Delhi is on 10th number. But Delhi being a capital, obviously, we are happy that, Supreme Court is pointing out to it. But the measures of closing down industry, closing down,
Saurabh, tell me what happened to the proposal of e-buses in the national capital. You are saying, okay, we are all guilty of driving fuel-driven cars. We have not switched to electronic. But who creates that electronic, car environment? It is the state government that has to provide that. Where are the e-buses, sir? Where are the charging stations on a war footing that should have been lining up street after street so that people can immediately switch to that option? That doesn't exist. So let's acknowledge that as well.
Yes, Madhav, what I have been saying is that out of 20 most polluted cities in the world, 18 are in India. Delhi is on 10th number. And what I can say with a lot of confidence and conviction is,
All right, lost that line there. Yeah.
You can compare Delhi with any state in the northern India, whether it's UP, whether it's Haryana, whether it's Punjab. The measures which we have taken against pollution, they can be compared. We have shut down all our
But that's
thermal
not
plants.
enough, sir. Today,
UP has
700. Where
yes.
I'm sitting today, this morning it was 775. That was the AQI where I'm sitting, Noida, right
yes,
here, right
yes.
now. And
So
I can tell you it has
everybody-
been
so Noida,
a challenge to even
I
breathe
know
in this
this.
city right now. As citizens, if we cannot breathe, forget our Yamuna that is completely toxic and frothing. If we cannot breathe, what really are we doing over here? What really are we doing as far as the life expectancy is concerned? I want to take this question also to Sanju Verma. Sanju Verma, end of the day, you know, we have a situation where Parali comes from another part of the country. What has the centre also done? It is not just enough to go to COP27 and, you know, make a lot of promises on emissions. Something has to be done if the very national capital, the seat of the power of our central government, is going to face this problem. There is a serious issue. For 6 years, we are not able to improve upon it even incrementally.
You know, Madhav, I heard what Dr. Guleria told you. He was very right that pollution is a silent killer, and the center and the state need to work in tandem. Having said that, I just want to ask you one thing, Madhav. All doctors, environmentalists, at least on one thing they agree, that this is no longer about pollution. This is a health emergency. Health is a state subject. And I was appalled when today in the morning a media outlet asked Arvind Kejriwal कि आप क्या करने वाले हो आगे चलकर pollution को रोकने के लिए. He said मैं फिलहाल इस पर कुछ बोलना नहीं चाहता हूँ. I do not wish to comment on this subject. A chief minister of the National Capital Region failing to even comment tells you volumes about his incompetence. Well, the center, what it has done today, Tushar Mehta said when what Dr. Guleria said, I'll just take that argument further. Tushar Mehta today told the court to Justices Chandrachud and Justice Suryakant, that we have given at 80% subsidized rate residue cycling and stubble burning machines to the small farmers. Point number 2, we have ensured that the residue or stubble that is used in paper mills and thermal power plants within 300-kilometer radius of Delhi. So the central government is doing its bit.
Sanju Verma, that has not worked on ground. We have a health emergency, as you're saying. The fact is that farmers are not adopting this. I don't know for what reason. As a citizen, I just want to ask my governments wherever, what are you doing? Why are you allowing our citizens to choke and die?
May I take 20 seconds to finish, Madhav? Madhav, I don't understand one thing. Why is it that Arvind Kejriwal waited till the 4th of October to say, we have a team of 250 people who will ensure there is no public burning of garbage. We have a green app. We have a green war room manned by 50 environmental engineers. We are going to build an eco-waste park. Tell me one thing. Arvind Kejriwal had so many years. How many smog towers has he built?
Okay, quick response.
The government gave him 2,500.
All right, questions coming for the Kejriwal government. I didn't want to make this into a tutu meme, but since you've pointed questions towards Saurabh Bhardwaj, I will allow him to respond to that. Saurabh Bhardwaj, questions coming in for your party's leader and the Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal. You heard them. I don't want to repeat them. Please answer. Saurabh Bhardwaj.
Okay. I think everybody believes and everybody understands that this is a northern India problem. It's not a Delhi problem. AQI, like you said, is same in Noida, same in Meerut, same in Saharanpur, same in Gurgaon, same in Ghaziabad, same in Faridabad. Even in Chandigarh, it will be as worse as Delhi. And it requires concrete efforts by all the governments, including the 5 state governments and the central government. I am ready to have a debate for 3 hours where we will tell you all the things which Delhi government has done, and I can challenge, Delhi government is the most sincere government which has done lot of things, and we could decrease 2.5 PM 2.5 levels by 25% in 4 years, and this is on record.
There are different theories as to why that has happened. I just want to take a quick 20-second response from Jai Dhar Gupta. Is Saurabh Bhardwaj factually correct when he says that Delhi is as bad as other cities of North India? Jai Dhar, quick response from you before we wrap up this debate. Jai Dhar, can you hear me?
Sorry, Madhav, can you repeat yourself,
Well, when
please?
Saurabh says that Delhi is as bad as other cities of North India, do you agree with him? Is he being factually correct or is he being economical with the truth? He says that Chandigarh, Meerut, everywhere is as polluted as Delhi. Is he being factually correct? Quick response, please, in 20 seconds.
Absolutely. This is a Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, UP, Jharkhand, Bihar and West Bengal problem. Most severe problem in UP, Punjab, Haryana and Delhi. I absolutely agree. We are under the same airshed. However, whether it's the center or the state, and I'm not only talking about the state of Delhi, I'm talking about all the states that I've just named. I see no conviction. All we've seen is a lot of talk, a lot of smoke and mirrors, smoke towers. It's been absolute rubbish and nonsense. These are solutions that haven't worked anywhere in the world and they are not going to work here. If you just talk about Delhi, if we focus on just three things, we will reverse at least 30% of our air pollution. One is biomass burning. Our poor people light their chulas with wood or cow dung. That needs to be stopped immediately. The second is waste burning. That needs to be stopped and made into a criminal offense. And the third one is vehicular pollution. You put curbs on those three, you will reverse air pollution in Delhi by 30%.
Completely out of time. Sanju Verma, Saurabh Bhardwaj, Jai Dhar Gupta, completely out of time. I have to thank all three of you for joining us. But this is literally a burning problem in the national capital. We have to find a solution and have to find it ASAP. Why cannot the polluters pay principle that applies to the law, as the law of the land be applied in this particular case as well? Because it's high time, the very least, that citizens expect from their government. Slipping into a quick break for now.
The News Hour Special Edition will be right back after this break.